Darkness.
Bam.
Dark
Hello,
field.
Wall. Sorry about that. The camera wasn't streaming, so we had to cut the old one and put the new one in there. So welcome. Andre, how was your weekend?
It was
As
a
you
very busy weekend, my friend.
share the links.
Yes. As everybody else here should. You know, like,
Yes.
subscribe,
All
share us,
that good stuff.
all that fun stuff.
You were molding young children's minds.
I mean,
On
teenagers,
Saturday.
bro. Was telling them about back in the day when you and I would wear, size 43 pants with triple XL shirts.
Why would you do that?
I mean, there's no pictures.
I got a picture somewhere hiding.
I got one too,
I
but
think
people
I
don't
gotta-
even.
I
People
gotta
don't
find
even
it.
wear.
5XL.
Muchacha. So estaba pena.
Oh,
That's
man.
embarrassing, man.
Have you seen the picture with like the skeleton of like somebody wearing like a
Oh,
the
yeah.
long tee where it's like a huge torso and like small legs?
You ever seen the time traveler from 2000s?
No.
There's like a guy on Facebook and Instagram where he just walks around like dressed like as if it was 2005.
Really?
Yeah, headband and everything, like the jerseys. He goes
Oh.
to like the flea market trying to buy like FUBU pants and just like do you remember the old jeans that had like all the basketball teams on them?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just like trying to buy all stuff like that. Like he's joking around, but it's hilarious to see all the stuff he talks about. I'm like, yo, like this is a throwback and a half.
Interesting.
But
So
yeah, man.
when did Trump get shot? Was this
Saturday night.
Saturday. Was it night? I mean, it was daytime. In the video,
I saw the message after I finished preaching.
the wife is asking for it
I
live.
sent the link.
Okay. You send a new link. All right.
So I actually saw
Let's see.
it after I finished preaching. I just jumped on my phone real quick, and then I see Trump getting shot. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that was interesting.
Interesting is an understatement, my friend.
My wife shared with me that since she likes the Facebook, that apparently there were a lot of distasteful wishes going on, and she was just like,
Yes, there were.
didn't get why you would wish like death upon anybody, regardless of how you feel about them at all.
Oh, let me say this real quick.
Say it.
Reform Nerd is not I don't even know how to say it. We're not sponsored by any political party by any means, nor do we draw to or not even draw, like we're not going to promote one more than the other. We're going to promote Jesus.
Who said? Obviously, Jesus would be a Republican, so I don't-
Depends. I think Jesus.
Oh,
I think Jesus in some instances would also be a Democrat. If you ask me,
Oh,
Jesus
stop.
is the most perfect
Jesus would be
centrist.
Jesus would be independent.
Yeah,
is
Jesus.
that, is that it?
Well, he would be. No, we'd have to make a whole nother category for him. Yeah, he would be a centrist.
Whatever that means.
He's pulling from both sides.
I guess, yeah.
We're
Oh,
called to take care of the.
I
the
feel like he
widowed
would
and
have his own
orphans.
standard anyway,
Oh,
right?
100%, right.
You
None
know,
of these
as
parties ever truly fully fulfill.
yeah,
Jesus.
100%. I mean, as we were thinking about what we were going to be talking about today at the gym, we're like,
As we're watching
do
the news.
we want to talk about the politics, what's going on? And we're gonna get into some funny memes that we saw, and people are using your favorite anime. So I'm curious to hear your
Listen,
thoughts
dude.
on that. But
So I haven't seen anything like that. I'm actually pretty surprised.
yeah. So before that though, I as I was thinking about what happened, I just think it's crazy that, and linking it back to anime a little bit, it's like most of the good guys that we see, they're fighting the villain, but seldomly are they like fighting with hate.
Bro.
Like they fight.
We're gonna take it there
Well, I think so. I think that a lot of
because this was the episode that I just watched in the gym this morning. I'm catching up on My Hero.
Okay, fair enough. We'll have you share that for a little bit, but
Yep.
there's always there seems to always be in a lot of anime, not always, like you do have your evil guys, but more often than not, bad guys with a backstory, right?
Aaron.
Sometimes seem to be a little bit more relatable. And what you see is that a lot of the times the good guy, he's fighting against their actions, but there's still like some empathy, right, for the character, and that's where we see a lot of like, Goku befriending a bunch of the evil villains.
Forget Goku. Eren Yeager.
How do we compare Eren at all?
He's a great example. I feel like
I think it's a terrible example, but I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see where you're gonna take it.
Right, because he was a good guy. But then you see his deconversion, and you see how he does everything, and then spoiler alert: if you haven't seen it, shame on you. So see, have him go from like trying to help everybody to being the sacrificial lamb, so everybody can live freely, although it eradicates 80% of humanity.
I mean, the question is, one, how did he get the percentage, right? I don't know how he calculated that, but two,
no, seriously.
but two is like, I don't even like. What's the verdict? Is Eren a good guy or a bad guy?
Well,
at the end of the day, like what's?
Well, it's split, right? Because some people say he was a good guy because he created a future that his people and his friends could live in. But then also, when you eradicate 80% of humanity, that's
including women and children,
that's pretty freaking evil, man.
Yeah, so that's. I think that a lot of the characters or evil villains that we see, where there's a little bit more complexity, I think it relates a lot more to like reality in a way. Like, to a lot of people, Trump is the evil guy, right? The bad guy. But yet, let's say you think that his character, who he is evil. There were things in his life that led him to that path, right? If that's how you choose to see him, right? So I think that even if you dislike him, you should be able to have empathy, especially when it's like a real human life that almost got ended. And even, there was an individual that actually
one father, 50-year-old firefighter,
lost his life.
I think his name was Clinton. I'm not sure. I got to look it up. But he passed away, and another person was injured. I mean, it's crazy how here in the U.S. we have politics running. We put these people into like almost god tier status, or devil, or like demonic, demons, all this stuff, right? Like, we hold such a strong, like, excuse me, we hold like such a strong, we hold it to the chest, right? Like, we think they're infallible, and then when things happen and go wrong, we're just like, well, you should have been doing this, you should have been doing this. Like, it makes me think a lot about my dad and myself. Like, now being a father, I understand way more stuff that my dad was doing, and I'm like, okay, I could see where when I was younger, I was very harsh on him because I didn't know any better. I looked at him as someone that had to be perfect, and then when I understood, nah, my dad's a regular human being, I had more grace. We look at these political figures, call it who you want.
So growing up, like, as long as you can recall, like, you looked at your dad as like your hero.
Although my upbringing was a little weird and funky, yeah. Even though there was a lot of fighting in between, stuff like that, I was always in the mindset that, well, he's still my dad. He should be doing right. He should be, the Superman in my life. So like, even though he wasn't, at least in my eyes at that time, as I got older, I'm like, well, okay, I need to understand my dad, immigrated here in his 20s. My dad, all he knew what to do was how to work.
Interesting.
There's a lot of different things that now, me being a father and homeowner and all these different things, I'm kind of like, okay, I understand what he did and why he did it, because he didn't know any better.
I'm curious I was just curious about that, because I don't think I ever had that expectation of my parents. Like, I never like looked at them as like,
well, blame that on Disney.
Like, hey, like, these are my idols type of deal. Although, I mean, looking back now, right, and even growing up, like, I admire, certain characteristics of my dad. Very hardworking man, probably the hardest working person that
seriously
I've ever met. My mom, growing up. She was very resourceful, right? With the situation that they had, but it's interesting because I think that there are a lot of people that hold their parents as like their hero.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope that one day I'll be a somewhat
Hero
imaged,
Yeah.
to my kids, but I don't think I necessarily like looked at them like that.
Well, you and I'm assuming, right? We're not fully latchkey kids, but we had our moments.
Latchkey kids, explain. What does that
Well,
mean?
that just means like your mom gives you a key to the house and say, "Don't open the door for anybody that you don't know," and then you're stuck at home all day.
Gotcha.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I mean, I think that by the age of like 13, I want to say,
Exactly.
I was like staying home with my brother and sister and looking
so-
after them.
And so it's like kind of like in those moments where you just watch a lot of TV. So for me, it was watching a lot of like Disney Channel, stuff like that. So, back before Disney hated the dads, they would actually, present all these different things and present
Well,
parents in
Disney
a good
hates
way.
all parents.
Now.
Well, like you look at any Disney movie for the most part, I don't think that
No.
most parents are looked at as like.
Actually, yeah, because Frozen, they make the parents look bad.
In most of them, they're
Yeah.
like the parents are always the ignorant, and then the kids
Mhm.
are, they know better, and
Yeah.
but yeah, I wanted to. So you said that you hadn't seen this before. When I sent you this, what'd you think?
I thought
It
you
says
made
here.
this.
No.
This
This
is
is
awesome.
like anime fans globally compare Trump to All Might after Trump was shot.
I can
Because
I
of
so
this.
See it. No, dude, you don't understand. Like with where I'm at in My Hero right now, I understand it. It makes
Explain
perfect
for us
okay.
ignorant folk that are not as familiar with My Hero.
Spoiler
'Cause
warning, my people.
Outside of this,
Yes.
I don't think I necessarily
Oh, it makes perfect
see
sense.
the link.
Well, not that it makes perfect sense, but I can see why people would view it this way.
All right, break it
So,
down. Break it down.
Spoiler alert, I'm like at the point where they're trying to attack All for One and Shigaraki.
I mean, at this point, All Might is not even like really doing anything, right? He's
No,
not. He's not
because
like he's not a hero. He
can't
lost
use
his
his
power.
powers.
He's like done.
Well, he hasn't lost it, but he can't use it because it's just life threatening. So the problem in the show right now that causes people to kind of view that is of how they view Trump and All Might. So people view Trump as just this person who's inciting different people to fight and to like the whole January 6th thing, like all these different things. People have a very negative view of Trump and they feel like he's inciting violence and he's attacking different communities, different rights that people have. In My Hero Academia,
All Might is doing that.
well, the villains say that he actually is. The villains put all the blame on All Might for the fact that they were marginalized, and All Might helped to create a society where these people were not accepted.
Where they couldn't do evil things.
Well, it's not only that. So, what really kind of like impacted me a lot in the show is you have villains, but then you have metahumans. So, a completely different group of people that they're just like half lizard, half human, all these different things, and they're hated upon in society because they don't look normal. And so a lot of these people also feel they feel like society hates them because of what they are, what they can do, what they can look like.
But what does that got to do with All Might, though?
Well, they put the blame on All Might because All Might is the symbol of like truth and justice, all these different things. So
So is Trump the symbol of truth and justice? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, that All Might helped to create a society where it's a lot of how we view things right now in the world, where if you look a certain way, if you're a certain body type, certain size,
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't think I
I'm
see the
telling
link,
you, bro. I'm telling you, I can understand the
Where?
frustration.
I
I
don't-
don't think it's fully there, right?
Yeah.
Because like, All
Besides
Might-
the pose, I'm not seeing it.
well, people blame Trump for the type of society that we have right now.
Yeah. Okay.
In the same way that they blame All Might for the need of these villains and metahumans to go buck wild and create a better society where they can be accepted in.
But so okay. Let's go back a little bit.
Yes.
This image, do you think it was created by a Trump supporter or a Trump hater?
Trump supporter.
Okay, so then what you're saying
Real
makes
quick.
absolutely no sense.
No,
Because-
it does.
Because you're coming at it from the opposite view.
No.
You
so,
like that.
so let me stop you real quick. This
the way
pose right here.
Uh-huh.
This is when he was fighting All for One, and this is also
Yes.
when he gives Deku like through the TV, like, "Hey, you're gonna be the next one to go over." During this fight, All for One is blaming All Might for everything that's going on.
Yeah, but this is not the intention that I see of somebody putting this up. Like for somebody
No, because
to
he still wins at the end.
right, but for somebody to do a comparison of what you're talking about, they would have shown him in a bad light somehow, oppressing, like, I don't know, maybe some people on the floor or something. But here, this is like a victory pose. So they're comparing Trump to All Might in all of his good,
Yes.
good characteristics, symbol of truth, symbol
Yes.
of, standing up for, to evil, all that good stuff.
But you got to take the good with the bad too. I'm just saying because of where I'm at.
But well, what I'm saying is, their intention with this poster, the victory pose, and all that, does that match up to what we see in My Hero?
Well, in My Hero, All Might's still the symbol of truth.
So,
And I feel like
would you
we're
say that?
seeing
Would
that
you say
right
that
now.
Trump is the symbol of truth?
For a lot of people, yes, 100%.
Okay,
100%. I just look at things from the negative light first, and then I look at the positive.
Well, I'm just
get it?
trying to look at, okay, what would be the intention for somebody putting this, and what you were describing didn't really quite match with like what they're trying to show here. That's why.
I get you.
Or
I mean,
or were you saying more like the fact that Trump got shot? Like that's more reminiscent to maybe somebody that feels like Trump is somehow oppressing other people and he's leading us down the wrong path. You know what I mean?
yeah, because that's how the villains in the show look at
Yeah.
All Might, the character we're looking
Yeah.
at. They
So
look
people that are not for Trump are villains, basically. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. They just align a little bit with the villains in the show.
Oh, man. do you want to read the comment?
Yeah,
that came in?
Maurice. That's my boy Maurice. He says people blame Trump because the mainstream media has painted him that way. Prior to him becoming president, everyone wanted to be like him. Look how many songs were made about Trump. Make it make sense. That is very true. And it's funny
TV
because,
shows, everything else.
yeah, I mean the music videos. But it's funny too because in the show, back a bit from where I'm watching, people started to hate All Might because he was no longer the symbol of truth or all these different things. So for me, it's funny. I see a lot of parallels between Trump and All Might. I really do.
All Might is a has-been.
All Might is
Trump could be a has-been, I mean, to be honest, the fact that we got like 270-plus-year-old running for president, I think is like the most ridiculous thing that I've ever seen in my life.
You
But
saw his VP pick.
that's no. Who is it?
Trump put out his VP pick. It's the governor of Ohio. I forget his name. It's like 39 years old. So
Okay, well at least you got somebody young in there, man.
well, young. He's a Yale graduate. He's an ex-Marine. Kid has a lot of experience.
Getting that Republican vote locked in.
No, the Republican millennial vote.
All right.
He
all right.
locked in the Republican millennial vote.
So
right here,
what's
J.D.
up?
Vance. Yep, that's him right there.
all right. So
39-year-old ex-Marine.
So,
That's
so
wild.
this is the article, I think, that where it came from, right? My Hero Academia fans find a resemblance between Trump and All Might in a way no one expected. Okay. So let's see here. Given that My Hero Academia, All Might was the #1 hero in the
That's another
series,
thing right
his
there.
winning pose quickly became popular amongst fans. After a long-fought win, he would raise his left hand with a clenched fist. He did this pose to assure fellow heroes and citizens that they were safe as he had won the fight. With Omar having retired as a hero long ago, fans must have never expected to see the former number one hero iconic pose ever again. However, ever so surprisingly, recent events surrounding Donald Trump at the 2024 presidential election campaign rally in Pennsylvania saw fans recall the iconic All Might pose. How did My Hero Academia fans blah 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 blah? Let's see. Okay, so here they're talking about what happened.
Yeah, when he goes up, he's yelling out, "Fight, fight, fight."
So soon after being shot, Trump took cover and was surrounded by Secret Service as they helped him to his feet.
Yep.
With blood visible on his right ear and cheek, Donald Trump pumped his fist in the air, shouting. That's interesting. I hadn't heard that, but okay.
I mean, you can't
Before
hear him,
being
but you can
escorted
see
away.
him. He's trying to yell it out.
What do you think he meant when he was saying fight, fight, fight?
Well, I understand it. I understand what he meant by that. I think I did. This is somebody who has been going through legal litigation. They're trying to take his money away. This is how it can be painted, is another way that they're trying everything. They, as the deep state, whoever is truly running, Congress and the White House, all that fun stuff, they're truly trying to do everything that they can to take him down because he can't be controlled.
Gotcha.
Whether people want to accept it or not, Donald Trump definitely can't be controlled.
I'll say that's kind of a sick pick, though.
No, dude. Regardless of where you stand politically,
Bro,
there is no way that you can say that photo was not epic. And seeing him yell out "fight" again. I don't care where you stand.
Dude, his 70 has still got some fight in him, huh?
Dude, no, it's not even that.
What if Joe Biden would have been?
Anyways,
I can't even think about it.
Anyways,
I can't even think
regardless of where you stand politically, again, this is not. Again, pray to God and ask Him to guide you who to vote for. But to me, seeing him yell out "fight, fight," you could see the change in the. Oh my Lord, the words are escaping me. Not ambiance, but you could see the change
in the ambience, in the environment, the energy.
You could see the energy change when he was yelling out "fight, fight" with his hands up. Yeah, freaking spirit bombing, bro. No, you can see the energy change in the people there.
All right. Before we continue with this article, because I'm curious to see what else you're gonna say besides the post, see if there's anything else there. What are your thoughts on people saying that this could have been staged?
See, I struggle with that, man. I don't put anything past anybody. I'll be honest with it. But to me, it's just the fact that we have a father who lost his life, a family that lost a father. We have other people that were injured. It was too close. I was watching ABC News' thing about this, and they were talking about the shooting and just other stuff I've been reading, and just the fact that if he would have kept his head turned just a little bit more, he would have been dead. But the fact that he kind of turned back and then the bullet nicked him right there.
Was this like a sniper? Was this a guy in the crowd? I haven't really looked much into this.
So it was a 20-year-old kid. He had a rifle. He was on top of a building, and he shot once. Nicked Trump's ear. He goes and grabs. He sees the blood, and then he just starts going ham, just pop, 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 pop. So there's a lot of things when you look into it that doesn't make a lot of sense. And I'm putting my tinfoil hat on. The fact that this kid was able to get through with a rifle is a problem because there's Secret Service and police and all this other stuff. The fact that there was a ladder next to the roof where he was, which allowed him to get onto the roof, is a problem. The fact that people
so you're saying this was a setup?
Possibly. The fact that there were people telling the police, hey, there's a guy on the roof with a gun, and they didn't do anything until it was too late. ABC News even said that there was a police officer on the roof trying to apprehend him, and then he fell somehow. And then that's when the dude just started going nuts with the gun. There's too many things on there that, call me conspiracy theorist if you want, but there's too many things that happen in there that just do not make sense. Period.
Yeah, I haven't really looked into it, so I don't really have much of an opinion there. But
I've been
let's
listening to stuff and watching, and it's I don't think it was a setup from the Republican side, to be honest with you, because a lot of people saying that.
You think this was a Democrat thing? You think Democrats trying to eliminate the competition?
I don't think it's your average Democrat. I mean, just with how things are, I wouldn't put it past not just Democrats but Republicans too. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, right? Like we have to know and understand that these political parties, although some may have certain values that we have more than others. I did see a post that was very true, and it was a picture of two lines on a graph going up, and it said Republican one line, Democrat was the other, and on the x-axis it was progressive, and both are going over, and eventually both are going to go out of the lines of what we believe in as Christians.
Yeah, agreed.
Right.
Well, let's see some chats here real quick. It says Danielle says I feel like it was too close to have been staged. Saying it was staged sounds disingenuous to the people affected.
Absolutely.
Han says he was on a roof that clearly Secret Service didn't do their job.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Now, real quick, people, we also have to remember that the Secret Service that Biden has is very different from the one that Trump has. His is like a scaled down version.
Trump's?
Yeah, he's not going to have the full Secret Service because he's not the current president. Yeah, so that's
Fair
also
enough.
a thing on there. Not saying that should excuse it, but I think it is important to know that he did not have all Secret Service defending him.
Fair enough. So let's finish this article real quick. It says several fans agreed with the comparison as they created fan art that saw Donald Trump being drawn in anime style. Other fans joked around saying that the picture of Donald Trump and All Might were the same by referring to a joke from The Office US version. What do you know what joke that is?
Oh, I know. That's with Pam's husband. Oh my lord. The episode, with Jim. The episode where Jim swaps places with an Asian dude. And everybody's like, yeah, there's an episode where they swap places. And it's like, oh no, Jim has been Asian this entire time, and they're messing with Dwight.
Why don't I remember that?
Dude, hilarious episode.
I'm gonna have to look this up after this. Actually,
hilarious episode.
I mean, I watched all seasons, and that was not standing out to me.
Oh man, that was such a funny episode.
It says, meanwhile, other fans joked around that Donald Trump has essentially won the presidential election. I mean,
dude,
you know, I think this is gonna get him a lot of votes. This is because
Ruslan said it best. He's gonna win by a landslide and this was something I didn't even think about, but this humanizes Trump.
Yeah, I would say so.
This humanizes Trump, so people are gonna be like, oh, he bleeds just like the rest of us.
This is because such an incident generally invokes sympathy. Moreover, Trump looked fearless even after the shooting. Yeah, I mean, I think that you want a strong president, and definitely.
Oh, dude,
I mean,
him coming out and saying fight.
At this point, it's
deal,
like,
bro.
I mean, I think that them trying to get him and get him in prison, I think already brought in a lot of traction. I think this only kind of grew that. So I think if a Democrat group was behind this, I think that they didn't think that all the way through.
Well, you know, and again, we don't support Andrew Tate, but he did say it best. First, they try and defame your character, then they try and take your money away, and then the last step is they kill you. Andrew Tate said that.
Yep.
So
fair enough.
So I think he's right on that.
However, according to this article, not all fans were in favor of the comparison. Comparing the former United States president to the former number one hero, All Might. While the two pictures look similar, they do not wish for Trump to be associated with the anime character. This is because a good number of people in the general public were not in favor of Trump and had a poor impression of him. Hence, comparing Trump to All Might, a more or less universally fan favorite character, didn't sit well with them. So you are a fanatic of
Love
My Hero.
Show's amazing.
Which side do you land on when it comes to the comparison? Are you for it? Are you against it?
I'm for it, dude.
Indifferent?
100%.
What?
I'm for it.
You for it?
Yeah.
You're not upset that they compared Donald Trump to one of the beloved characters of My Hero?
At the end of the day, All Might is a anime character. Whether we like to admit it or not, this is like anime taboo, but the character is not going to change my life in any way, shape, or form. I enjoy the entertainment. I think the story is amazing. But realistically, it's more of how the Bible tells us that we need to conform our minds to the will of God. That's the type of thing that's going to really affect and change my life.
Agreed.
Like having a relationship with God. Like this is one of the points I preached on Saturday. And it's my identity is not rooted in earthly things that are going to pass away. It's rooted in God. And because it's rooted in God, my mindset is going to change for the things of God, which ultimately affects my family in a positive way. It's going to affect my community in a positive way, because regardless whether I agree with people or not, I'm going to do the greater good as Jesus would do for them. And it's a selfless type of lifestyle that God is calling us and asking us to live. I
want to share one last clip
I saw this. This is
before
rough.
we finish,
This
because
is
then we
rough.
can get into some of what you were talking about before we close. So this is Jack Black,
Yeah, I lost a lot of respect for him on this one.
and I mean, I don't like. I think he's not. He doesn't like Trump. But I feel like it was kind of. I mean, maybe it was too soon for a joke.
It's too
in a way.
soon, bro.
But
It's
yeah,
like-
let's take a quick look.
And go ahead. After this, I'll give you a good comparison because we were talking about this at work too.
Hollywood
But
celebrity
then on
overall
1.5, so we don't get hit.
has decided he wants to get involved
Unless
in
they
politics
copyright their
now.
stuff, we're not.
And recently, he went viral back on June 17th when he delivered a speech at a Biden fundraiser. Well, this isn't the last time you're going to hear from Jack, because he decided recently during a concert that I would imagine was probably at least yesterday or late Saturday, he decided it would be a good time to do this. Let's take a listen.
Happy birthday to you. Make a wish, Canada. Don't miss Trump next time.
It's too early for that, man.
Wow, how appropriate of him to do. Letting everybody know that he is deranged and still suffering from massive TDS, and that none of this is going to stop. Not going to stop anytime soon. Not under the watchful eye of Hollywood, even though that was in Canada, but Jack Black is very much a part of the Hollywood machine, which has never been quiet about how they feel about things. For the past few years, they've been quite vocal on how they feel about him and how they want you to feel about him. They've been calling for it for years. This is not new.
I feel like this
16
only
times
happened
Hollywood celebs
recently 'cause
fantasized
Donald
about violence against Trump and compared him.
He was kind of in Hollywoodish, you know.
Not really. I mean, he had his own TV
He had the shows. I think there was a
Yeah,
lot of people that did appearances with him,
He was in Home
visited
Alone
his
too.
stuff,
You knew
you
that?
know. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like this is like a recent, maybe like the last 6-7 years.
I mean, if we're honest, right? Trump was never vibed with the Democrats like that when he came into office. I mean, people
Yeah,
didn't
true.
care about him, and then he joined the Republicans. People got offended.
Yeah.
Who are the people that run Hollywood? Democrats. I mean, this is not conspiracy theory stuff, guys. This is legit what it is.
Yeah,
You see it
100%.
in the content of movies that are made and stuff that's going out there, and this is not a debate on that, but this is just the reality of the situation.
Yeah, I think that ultimately the sad part for me about all of this is that, for all intents and purposes, this person, whoever it was, this kid, was really trying to end, Trump's life, and for people to make jokes of it or to really like wish evil upon Trump to that extent, I think it's I don't know, man. It doesn't.
It's not Christ-like.
Not only is not Christ-like, but it's just concerning that it's acceptable for you to do that. Because think about it. If this is Hollywood saying this means that in their minds, it is going to be well received.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So this means that the audience that they're speaking to, the things that they're saying, they know that people are going to enjoy or going to agree with what they're saying. So I think like from that perspective, it's just kind of really, really sad to see that this is where we're at,
I think the biggest thing, though, we do also need to bring up and say is in the same way that we are frustrated, and it's more of just the fact that we are openly saying as a society, at least a part of us is saying that, yeah, this dude should die because we don't agree with him. Us as Christians, we also need to be praying for Joe Biden. Because in the same way that whether if you agree with Trump or you don't agree with Trump, if you agree with Biden or you don't agree with Biden, God is not calling us to wish death upon other people.
Mm-hmm.
The word actually tells us that we should be praying for
your
our enemies, that God may have mercy on them.
That's
So
right.
we also, we need to be honest, right? Because if this was on the other foot, if this was somebody trying to kill Joe Biden in the same way that so many people are frustrated that Trump was attacked,
To be honest, I feel like that would even be worse.
maybe.
Because just like, Joe Biden is on like a real decline. So it's like,
Yeah.
he, for all intents and purposes, I think like he's like the weaker target in terms of like health and cognitive
Yeah,
ability. Like,
sure. But I think it's just important to note that, though, right? Because politics gets dirty, man. It's just reality. Politics gets super dirty. A lot of the times, we just get so caught up in which party we represent and, how this person is so evil and I wish they were dead. So, like, here's, like, a real call out to, like, oh, snap. Like, regardless of where this person stands, he is a human being that was attacked by another human being.
Yep. 100%.
We need to pray for whoever you disagree with. Jesus did not say pray that the Republicans win. Jesus said pray for your enemies. So if Republicans are your enemies, pray for them and love on them. If Democrats are your enemies, pray for them and love on them. Because we're all created in the image of God.
Amen. Amen to that. Yeah, I think overall, especially if you are a Christian, like, you want to be that light in the middle of all the darkness of, family gatherings or your friends. Like, be that one person that's just bringing in some empathy.
Yeah.
That's bringing
Yeah,
in
man.
a little bit of light to the entire conversation. So, this was it. This is all we had to share for today. Thank you for joining us. And as always, just want to remind you that
We
we must persevere. Make sure to share, like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram.
Yep, I'm on there.
And we have a TikTok. We're not too active on there, but it's there. If you want to get us a message with questions, anything you want us to present or look at while we're in live, make sure to shoot on the Instagram, and Andri will check that out and get back to you.
I'll be on there, my peeps.
All right, everybody. Peace.
Good night.